welcome back. Second last talk of today and the Freelance Unlocked conference. It's great to have you here, and I think this panel discussion is going to be very insightful, especially for all of you who are parents, who are planning on having children, who knows, but I definitely believe that we have three experts here sitting with us. So we have Julia Bandov, we have Kenan Aggül, and we have Alicja Moeltner. Great to have you here. Maybe if you would like to start, just briefly introduce yourself, and then we're going to start off with the questions.
Yeah. So I'll start. I'm Julia, super happy to be here. I wear actually a few hats, so I do a lot of different things to support founders and kind of grow the ecosystem. So I'm the founder of Moms Founding. It's a community that supports moms who want to be entrepreneurs. I also support an NGO, Women in Tech, that helps women in STEM fields to get more awareness and establish themselves. And my day job, I lead partnerships in the Founders Bay Accelerator. It's the impact accelerator that targets rural Germany.
Thank you. Great to have you.
My name is Kenan. I'm the co-founder of Kepa Voices. Kepa Voices is doing sales and marketing advices, consulting over the platform LinkedIn. My career start was car electrician to the IT guy, and now I have 15 years of leadership experience. My main powers, I would say, is not English, so it's a little bit rusty. I think I do my best, and I have my Spickzettel with me for those who can understand me a little bit. I empower people, and I'm on the bright side, so to push forward, to find spots where we can support each other and make the most of now. And I have 2 kids and a dog.
Thank you so much.
I continue with that, Kenan. My name is Alicja. I am co-founder and co-CEO of the Smart Cooperative, Smart Genossenschaft Germany, that you can find also over there in the partners area. I am also a mom of 2 kids and a dog, and I don't know what was the worst of that, but definitely the dog made the most hassle. So in the past 10 years, I've founded a business that has a lot of employees and got 2 kids, and I'm really, really happy to talk about that today with you, because it's a topic that is burning in my heart, and thanks for being here.
Perfect. Great to have you with us. Maybe we can even start off with you, Alicja. What are the biggest day-to-day struggles that you faced balancing parenthood and self-employment?
So when I just founded with my partners our cooperative, I got pregnant a few weeks later, and that was not planned. So the first thing that was that I was struggling with, we were just founding this business. We needed to talk to investors. I didn't have a stable financial income, and it was like very much the fear, how am I going to survive this financially, and how to deal with it with my partner, who was also in the middle of his raising career, and we were thinking, we want to kind of both, we have aims and how to manage it. So it was that 2 things was the most difficult things to tackle with.
I guess so, because especially in Germany we have a term which is called Vereinbarkeit von Familie und Beruf, work-family balance, that is often discussed. Julia, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, so I think first of all I want to say that I think Germany is one of the best countries to be entrepreneur or freelancers and have kids, because if you compare it to other countries like the US, you really don't have the opportunity for balance. So I think we're pretty lucky here. And I think for me, the whole idea of balance, it's always, you want to have it all and you want to have time for your kids and for your family and for work. But what is balance in the end of the day? It's really hard to get. And I think it's a matter of just brutal prioritization and trying to kind of see where there is a fire, where you need to kind of put your attention, maybe more time with the business or more time with the family, and then see that you don't neglect your health also. So I think that's kind of this whole balance topic is a matter of figuring things out.
Okay, so one step at a time, and you don't have it figured out at the beginning, but it's rather learning by doing.
Absolutely.
All right. Maybe, Kenan, you could give us some insights on how you navigate the parental allowance, aka Elterngeld, as a self-employed person. Do you have any insights on that?
During the time when I get the gift of my children, I was employed. So, but I'm originally from the south of Germany, that's called Swabian or Schwaben in German. That means I saved a lot of money. I made the focus on building the nest. That means saving money, looking for the infrastructure, looking for the resources that I have, and don't rely on anybody who says, all right, let's work together, and I'm at the end alone. So I put a little bit financial background, and that was the key for me.
Is that something that, Alicja, you maybe could also...
Yes, I have experienced two cases. So with my first kid, I was still in the status of a freelancer, just starting over with our company that we founded. And in this case, I was applying for Elterngeld, for parental allowance, and it was a big hassle because I didn't plan in advance. And it's as a freelancer, like the whole application process, it refers to your tax declaration a couple of years ago. So it's really like not very easy. And my second child, I got it as an employed CEO in our company, and that was so easy in comparison to the freelancing. So my advice to all freelancers would be, if you have plans on having kids in advance, take this into consideration with regards to health insurance, with regards to savings also, because like the parental allowance is not very high, and especially if you have maybe a bad year as a freelancer, and if you have 1, 2, or even 3 kids, the parental allowance can really go back on bad years you might have had. So it's really a good advice to plan in advance, and as you did, to maybe have some savings on this period of your life.
Thank you. And especially as you have been in that situation, Alicja, what do you think it's important to know about maternity protection, aka Mutterschutz?
Yeah, maternity protection is a legal protection that basically refers only to employed women, let's say, or persons giving birth, and it protects them 6 weeks before birth and 8 weeks after giving birth. And as a freelancer, if you didn't get specific insurance, so meaning again, if you haven't planned in advance, you don't have any financial benefits in that period, and or only a very, very small public health support of 13 euros per day. So this is again a period which is very vulnerable. I mean, pregnancy, I think before birth, if you feel great, it's not a big deal to work if you are able to, but especially the first weeks after giving birth as a freelancer, you are not protected. And I really hope that with the new coalition, I think that's something that's also in the Koalitionsvertrag, that motherhood allowance, Mutterschutz, will also be established for freelancers, and I think that's an important thing.
Julia, is there anything that you could add in terms of financial security during parental leave?
I think that, yeah, like Kenan said before, for me was the same kind of planning in advance and trying to save up. And I actually have to say that I ran an event for Moms Founding a couple months ago, and a very pregnant lady from the community came, and she was talking to a lot of people during the event saying, I'm a freelancer and I have a lot of work now, but I'm about to have a baby and I don't know what to do next. Mm-hmm. And this is something that really hit me, because she was really looking for advice and trying to find people to help her. So I think this is something that really needs to change in the core, and hopefully the government will now apply some new regulation on this, because as it is, it's really tough.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is the best way to create a setup that works for you and your partner when having a child as business owners?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of also being lucky. So for us, because we're both entrepreneurs, actually, we both have the mindset and understand what it means to grow a business. And in the end of the day, starting a business and growing a business is a bit like having a baby. So we also have 2 kids, and we really kind of see, okay, I need to work sometimes on the weekends, so my husband will give me the opportunity to do that and take care of the kids. Or I work also like sometimes kind of in unconventional times, and so would he. So we really give each other the support, and I think this is really key. But I'm also aware that a lot of people are doing it on their own. So a lot of women are solo parenting, and that's very challenging. And that's why I think it's really, really important to kind of finding a support system. So if it's not with your partner, then with somebody else, family or friends. But it's really important to have that person to have your back.
Is there anything that you could add to that, Kenan?
I think the most important thing is, like Julia have mentioned it, the support out of the environment. Let's call it family, but also call it friends, relatives, or even colleagues in the same situation that will guide you, give you advice or advices, or even be for you in quite not always the best times when you have some kids. Everything is new, everything is a challenge, and I think you have to adjust also your mindset during this time of your life that Julia have also mentioned. When she's working on the weekend, the partner is stepping in, and they make the switch. So I would definitely agree with her statement.
Yeah, I think it's really a thing also that copes with gender equity. You should really talk about it before the kid is there, because when it's there, the time is overwhelming, and emotions change, and your stage of everything changes. And I think that you should be very aware how you want to deal with parentship. I mean, for example, for me, it was a very difficult situation because I decided to not take 1 year of parental leave, also with my second child, and I had really a lot of negative feedback. Also, it was also difficult to find a kindergarten place that would take a child in this early stage. So you really need to have the support of your family, of your network, of your friends that support you in decisions that maybe are not mainstream. I think especially as a woman, it's a challenge to have a career, to be a visible businesswoman, and then at the same time to kind of manage being also a mother and trying to be a good mother, to be there, to be present. So I think that's something that we really also as a society need to discuss.
Yeah, or just in general, probably some change on how you see this topic in general should probably happen, right?
Yeah.
Especially also having like mothers working and yeah. What are some common tax implications parentpreneurs should be aware of, especially regarding Kindergeld, child allowance, and deductions? Kenan, is this maybe something that you could fill us in on?
To be honest, in a financial situation, I was not the best, also not during my university time. My biggest learning was always taking somebody with me who can give me an advice. That means in a tax situation, also in a financial world. So I prefer to go this way because I know my strengths, I know what I can do or what I can handle. I would advise in those situations because the tax system in Germany is really complicated, and I would say as a basic user, I have not opportunities to get every single opportunity out of it for me. So I would invest in the money for an advisor, and that is my also my recommendation for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely jump on that because you can really make stupid mistakes as a freelancer. For example, if your client pays late in the moment that you are already on parental allowance, this money, which refers to another period before you were on parental allowance, is being deducted from your money that you receive from the state. So you can really that you have to know some things. So again, I think try to get informed in the best before the child is there, and as you said, Kenan, invest some money into advice because there are stupid little things that you can do wrong, and it's also based on your individual situation with your partner. There is no easy solution, especially when you are in a freelance or mixed income situation. It's really worth it to have a consultant on that.
Mm-hmm. And maybe another topic, especially as you have faced both situations, like having a child whilst being employed, but then also whilst being a freelancer. Did you notice any differences regarding the Krankenversicherung, health insurance? Is there something that you should consider before?
I think a lot of freelancers, especially when they are young, consider private health insurance. And for example, when you are in the public health insurance system, your child is insured automatically. You just have to register it. When you're thinking of private health insurance, especially when you're thinking of 1, 2, or more kids, each kid has to be paid for. So depending on your long-term planning, you should just think of, okay, which kind of health insurance makes sense in the long term for myself and my family.
Okay, is there anything that you could add? Julia, Kenan, anything? No. What strategies have helped you manage flexible working hours while still making an income for your family, Julia?
I think this one is something I became really, really good at. Because you have to. I think once you have kids, before you make a lot of plans, right? You're pregnant and you think, okay, I have it all figured out, no worries. Baby sleeps, I work, or I sleep. No. The moment the baby is there, everything goes out the window. Nothing happens as you plan. So you have to really kind of think, okay, what do I do now? And you're freaked out and everything is new. So you start trying to figure out. So after a lot of time kind of trying to figure out, I work sometimes like really early in the mornings when the kids are still asleep, or oftentimes at night. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. But luckily at some age, my kids are now 4 and 6, so they go to Kita, and I have really 8 hours every day to focus on work. But then if I have to get some stuff done, which is usually the case, then it will be probably some unconventional hours. But I feel like if you really love what you do, you enjoy it, so it's just fun. You do it.
Yeah, and that's also the flexibility and freedom then that you have as a freelancer, right? Yeah. The similar case for you too?
I think I was very lucky of having the possibility to really adapt to my needs in my job. And I think the very, very important thing is also to always stay in communication with your partners, with your clients, just adapt to the situation, because with kids you always have to manage and to adapt to their state of health, to their I mean, in Germany, unfortunately, like Kita, childcare is not stable, so you always get a call, okay, please pick your kid up, and you have to adapt. And I think bringing this flexibility also in the companies and the relations to clients is really something that is getting better, but always being open and transparent about the situation also really helps to stay calm and to have a head on the situation.
And do you feel that German policies and cultural attitudes support freelancing parents, or is there room for improvement, in your opinion?
So from my personal experience, I see on one hand an evolving situation that parenting, leadership, self-employment goes more hand in hand, and also like the political situation is changing in a good way, as we see now with the coalition, for example, with the motherhood allowance. But I think our society still needs to be more open-minded to not having this very structure or very picture of a perfect motherhood, how it should be, that, I don't know, a woman should stay for 3 years at home, and sending a child early to Kita is, a bad thing. And for a very, very practical example, when I was with my kid at the child's doctor, she said, oh my God, and you gave the kid already to Kita, this will bring damage to the brain of your child. I think that's something that is really like going over personal borders, and I think we should be supportive, because founders, freelancers bring so much benefit and impact to our society on an economical level, but also like giving diversity and having an impact. And I think parents should be supported, no matter if it's a woman, a man. It's really, really something that is worth being supported.
Mm. And would you say, maybe to the three of you, is there a right time to have children as a freelancer?
Wow, I would say there is never the right time. should have the right mindset. You should be aware what will come on you, in your way, with you all the time, do co-working with you and all the things. So I think it is something you cannot prepare yourself, but if you do, make sure you have the resources, you have the support, you have the financial stability. This is not something I would say, let's have a child and it will fit, because the business is not fitting with it, so you have to adjust it completely. So I would say you have be prepared for what's coming next.
Yeah, I think for me, I would say that I see it a bit differently, because I think that if you want to have a kid, and I think that's something that suddenly is in you, it's like this fire burning that you really want to start a family, just do it. Everything will be fine, because life is not linear. Things happen at work, things happen in the family, and I think actually in life the best things cannot be planned. There's never a good time to start a business, to go on vacation, to get married, to find a partner, to have a kid. So and you still do it, otherwise you would not have anything to live for. So I think just do it, don't think about it too much. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Julia. I think there is no perfect timing, and I think the more you try to plan it, the more complicated it can get. But I think that, as Kenan also said, when it's the time that has come to have a kid, just build your network, because it's getting more complicated. You always have to manage a little more, and also networks like yours. It's really something that if you talk about it, you see that it's not you having the problems, it's not you being alone with that, and I think that's something that it can be really supportive in that situation.
Yeah, it's like everyone is facing the same challenges. So once we kind of break out of this little circle of loneliness and problems in our head, we realize everyone right and left has the same issues, our friends, our colleagues, our neighbors, and then if we start talking to them, it feels a bit easier kind of to understand, okay, it's not so bad. We're all in it together.
And let's say it's the other way around. You're a parent already, but then you actually want to start your own business. Julia, what would you maybe advise them to do?
Yeah, so this is actually a very common topic that we discuss actually in the Moms Founding community. How do I start? Where do I start? So a lot of women, when they get pregnant, they think, oh, maybe I should change because it's not going to be so convenient to have the traditional work setup, the 9 to 5, and going to the office. So what do I do? And then it's like, oh my God, I have 9 months until I have the baby. I need to figure it all out. So my advice is always go easy at it. If you don't yet have the perfect idea and setup and everything organized and the money for it, try to ease into it. Try to start something small on the side, maybe see and grow as it goes, and then see how you feel about it. You might also, as a lot of entrepreneurs, start something, realize it's total shit, and then you have to do something else, and then you reiterate your project a million times, or even as a freelancer, change your customer focus or the type of project that you're working on. So just start. I think the same as having a baby. It's like having a business. It's also a baby.
True. Is there anything you would add?
Sometimes work wins and sometimes family wins. I would say when the focus is the right thing and you have, for example, a right partner in private and in business. In my case, I have with Paulina, my perfect co-founder partner at Keep Our Voices, who supports me as a business partner, as well as supporting me when I say, now it's time for my kids, and I don't have the time for any meetings, for any business cases, and so on. So I think, and again, the network, the surroundings, your circle is the key, and even not only the business people with you, also your clients who accept that case, clients who are with you, and clients who are not lifting the eyes when you say, all right, I have to pick up my kids from kindergarten, from school. Like you mentioned it, you get a call from the kindergarten, somebody is sick, you have to drive home. So the time is never right, you cannot prepare, but you have to find a balance between. You have to find a balance between them.
And is there anything you would say you could prepare for in terms of whilst being a freelancer and having children, like anything they should do and like research or something that they could look up to prior to just to be as well prepared as possible, even though you probably will still have to figure it out along the way. But is there anything that you could share, maybe you, Alicia?
I think what I already mentioned, the health insurance could be a thing to think of in advance. I mean, we with the Smart Cooperative, we really it's one of our core services to offer freelancers the possibility of getting employed. And I think especially for women, as long as the motherhood allowance is not there, it can really be a short-term solution that can help you. And when the time has come, just talk and exchange experiences, because I mean there are so many children and so many people around us that have kids, and it's possible to find solutions and be creative on it. And I think that's the most important thing, to not get into the loneliness, which is really something that, especially in the first year of motherhood or parentalship, is a big problem. You are getting stuck with your child at home, maybe working from home as well, and it's really important to not forget to talk and to exchange with other people in a similar situation.
And that is, for example, a point. Thank you to mention it. One of my key assets. I tell my story over LinkedIn, for example. I tell my story as a new dad, new work founder of something I do. What in the past was not common. For example, my dad was not the dad I was. I wanted to be a different dad. And that is something, when I talk about it, no matter if it's LinkedIn or TikTok or Insta, share your thoughts, share your ideas. Nothing is about perfection. It's about your values that you share. And with those values, you find this circle who can support you even in different times. Yeah.
Yeah, and just if I may add on the topic of how you can prepare, if you look at the global numbers, almost 50% of the world, the global labor market is self-employed. Some kind of freelance, contract work, or people who are working on their own thing. So the numbers are there to say that this is going in this direction, and this is super convenient. People like this work model. So I think there are definitely a lot of things you can do to prepare yourself.
Thank you. And maybe to wrap things up, what do you guys think? Are we moving into a more family-friendly direction in that regard? Julia, what's your take?
I think absolutely. So if we look at what happened over the last years with COVID, this really shook the world. I think that things became very clear and people just got their priorities in order. So given the fact that remote work is now very acceptable, a lot of people are digital nomad and then they're traveling the world, working from different places, it is much easier to have a work-life balance and kind of sustain a family, because if I work from home and I need to jump to Kita to pick up my kids if they're sick or if there's doctor's appointment or anything, then I'm flexible to do that. And it is kind of something that became more acceptable. As Alicia before said, you can write a customer or a partner, hey, sorry, I need to cancel a call or a meeting, and they'll be totally understanding, because first of all, maybe they also have a kid, so they know exactly how you feel and what you're going through, but also just kind of to understand that there is more than just work. So family is there and it's part of you, and I think the understanding is there. And as I said in the beginning, I think we're super lucky because in Germany the mindset is really supporting this. So I think it's really a good environment and society kind of to be a parent.
Frankly, I disagree a little bit, I would say, because I think it's more the visibility. We say we support, and we support working moms and working dads, but the reality is different. And I feel it from the small companies to the biggest companies here in Germany or in the DACH region. So when we want to make a move, when we want to make a change, the mindset should be changed at the management and those companies who are not willing to support those people that are decided to stay, to make this care work at home. So I would say it is more, I would say Germany more shine than sein, and this is something I hope that will change, hopefully.
I think I agree with both of you, and I think actually that it's up to us to change things now, because we are freelancers, we are clients, we are employers, and I think the more patient we are, the more acceptance we have to people in different family situations. It's not only about kids, but it also may be caring about your partner or caring about your parents. It's all situations that every one of us might have in a different situation. I think it's about talking what's my current situation, to be more human in the business, but also in the relations with each other. And I think it's up to us to make this visible, as you said, to show it, to talk about it, but also to stand up for it in your relations with clients or with your team, with other freelancers you work with.
Thank you so much. I think this is definitely a topic we should not stop talking about, because it's relevant and it's going to stay relevant for all of us. So thank you for taking the time. Please, a big applause for our panelists. Thank you so much. Thanks. And we're going to continue with the finale in about